Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel wherever I post this. If you are new, I am known as EarthToThia, also known as Thea, also known as Thea Ashe. And um, in today's video, I just really wanted to talk about relationships. Something that we all know about, something that a lot of us know about but don't really know about. And what I mean by that is love without attachment, or love with attachment but in a healthy way. Loving and knowing yourself before you try to go into a relationship. Trying to receive that love and knowledge. And a lot of the times we go into relationships not knowing self, and it kind of it honestly sucks and drains the other person dry, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. Because how can you go into a relationship of two broken people? For example, how can you go in a relationship of two broken people and expect anything out of that? Yeah, there's an opportunity for you guys to grow together, but like, how can you really grow when you really don't know yourself? Granted, the other person can help you get to know yourself, but how can you really authentically go into what's supposed to be a loving, understanding, compassionate, kind, open-minded situation with love, respect, and boundaries, when you don't even know oneself? And I think that's the big problem with relationships, because we oftentimes go into relationships looking for love, looking for that respect, or looking for that attention, and we have to know that it's within self and not within another person. Another person can amplify, another person can acknowledge, another person can bring to awareness that you are this and you are that, or you do this and you do that. But you should be able to know that first, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing about you. So you can say, hey, okay, I'm going to work on this. I'm working on this. Or I'm just going to read what I wrote down. I want to tell a story. So I had a dream. I have dreams about one of my exes. And my dreams are known to be very prophetic, or very visions, as we might say. I'm known to have a lot of visions, a lot of deja vus. I see a lot of things in my dreams that when it does happen, I'm like, oh, okay, that's where that came from. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not saying this is gonna be what me and my ex are going to go through in the future. But I have a lot of dreams about my ex, and there are all types of dreams, crazy dreams. Like, I'm not gonna get into that though. But I wanted to figure out why I was having dreams about this particular ex. Why I was still thinking about this particular ex. Why was this ex in my dreams? Why, how is he so important that my subconscious mind is dreaming about, is thinking about him in my sleep state? Why? So I kind of wrote down what I wanted to say, because I didn't want to forget my notes. I said, ego wants us to think that we're supposed to be attached to our significant other, whether that's in an unhealthy way or not. We have to break this cycle of unhealthy, toxic, blind attachment. We have to go into relationships setting boundaries and having respect for ourselves and the other person. And let's talk about relationships before the relationships, which is the relationships with ourselves. We have to learn to find love within self, and having some kind of love, respect, and boundaries for self. So, you know, when you go into relationships, you know that this is X, Y, and Z. This is some things I cannot compromise on. Whether you choose to compromise or not, a lot of people don't want to compromise. I'm a person that doesn't want to compromise on a certain things, because I know that's who I am as a person on this earth, or that's how I act, or I mean, it's a lot of things I can't change, but I don't say I am not going to change this, I'm not going to compromise this, because I know it's something I can change. If I know it's something that I can change, I'm going to work on it. I'm not going to say, well, this is me, because nothing is truly you, whether other than your higher self. So I said, learn to be intimate within self. Learn to be disciplined and loyal to yourself first. So you know how to give that loyalty, and so you know how to receive that loyalty. So we're not lowering our standards and our bars to other people's energy that don't understand what it's like to be respectful, disciplined, loyal, honest, open, communicative in a relationship. And then I said, learn to be intimate with yourself, learn to be disciplined, loyal, and have boundaries within self. Once you go within, whatever you are seeking from something or someone outside of you will come in love and abundance. So this goes with patience. This goes with discipline. You have to be disciplined in your spiritual practice. You have to be disciplined with knowing yourself. You have to be disciplined with your shadow work. Because once you're elevating, you're going to have people that want to suck that energy away. Once you elevate, you're going to have people that want to suck that energy away. But that's up to you to know those energy suckers, those energy bringer downers, okay? It's up to you to know that. And that's why I said, once you know yourself, once you know your most highest self, your most truest self, you'll know how to receive and give that loyalty, love, compassion, respect. And I said, some of us need healing before we get into relationships. A lot of us go into relationships so broken. A lot of us go into relationships not knowing what it is to feel love, what it is to feel true, genuine, authentic love. And when we go into these relationships seeking that shit, we don't know what it feels like to get it back. We don't know what it feels like to give it. That's why I said you have to go within to know truly who you are and what you want out of yourself and out of other people in relationships you are in with them, no matter what type of relationship it is. That could be setting boundaries with your mother about certain stuff. That could be setting boundaries with your significant other about, okay, this is that until I feel like, if I feel like I need to work on this, I just need you to respect that right now. I need you to respect that. And if you cannot respect that, I don't know. Because at the end of the day, you and your energy comes first. I don't care if you've been with that person for 5 years. I don't care if you've been with that person for 20 years. You, at the end of the day, are your own person. And if you feel like something is not working out in your favor, or something is not progressing to your highest self, if y'all get what I'm saying, like if you feel like something is not resonating with you on a higher level, then you can leave. You can go. You know, you're not obligated to anybody. You are not obligated to anybody. Some might argue that you are, but you are not obligated to anybody. You came into this world by yourself. You can live in this world by yourself. And that's only when you know the knowledge of self. And you're not looking to other people for this to be acknowledged, to be understood. You can understand yourself to be loved. You can love yourself to be heard. You can hear yourself. You see, like, I just want people to understand that. But continuing. If we go into a relationship broken and not knowing self, you put the other person's spirit and energy at risk. An energy sucker can't be in a healthy relationship. An energy sucker can't be in an understanding, compassionate, loving relationship. That's just something that cannot happen, because when you're vibrating on a very low frequency, you're carrying around these demons with you. And you carry around this darkness with you. And a lot of that goes into shadow work. That's why I say you have to do shadow work to know your highest self. Who are you? These are questions that we don't want to ask ourselves because of the trauma that we have been through, or things that we feel that we cannot explain, or things that we've seen, or even things that we heard of, because a lot of us are empaths, and a lot of us do unintentionally take on energy that we do not mean to take on. And that's okay. That's why we work through things. But yeah, just like You can't be in a relationship being an energy sucker. You can't be in a relationship 50-50. I always say you go into a relationship 110% on each side. That's why you have to know yourself 110%. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying it's going to take you a short amount of time or a long amount of time to love yourself or know yourself. That's all up to you. But when it comes to relationships with loving without attachment and healthy relationships, not toxic relationships, you're going to have to know yourself. So you're not, when you leave that, if you leave that relationship in an unhealthy way, or if you leave that relationship at all, you're not mentally, physically, emotionally bankrupt, broken, hurt. Like, I think I heard of this thing. It's a medical term for it, but you can die from heartbreak. Why are we dying from heartbreak? Why are we so heartbroken? I know you have to go through the stages of grief. That's very understood. But what I'm saying is love without attachment. And if you do love with attachment, love with healthy attachment. Love with attachment with boundaries. And sometimes people don't want to have boundaries in a relationship, and that's perfectly fine, to each his own. But if you are someone that is still healing from anything, or you feel like you have this urge to heal, or you feel like when you get into a relationship you're changing and it's not for the better, you have to learn how to be alone. You have to learn how to know, you have to learn that it's okay to be alone. You have to learn that it is okay to be alone, because it is okay to be alone. That's why I say you have to get to know oneself. You have to get to know oneself. You have to get to know you spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. That comes first. Okay. Because once you know oneself, you will not lower your standards for the people that come into your life. It's just really important for you to not rush into a relationship, because then that'll cause unhealthy attachment. Don't rush into relationships. The relationship you should be rushing into is the relationship with yourself. That relationships come first and foremost. Because even if we do get out of these relationships that we might be in, how will you bounce back? Who were you before this relationship? And if this relationship made you better, who are you now and who will you become? And these are things that we need to be asking ourselves. So that's all I really wanted to talk about, guys. And if you don't take anything from this video, this is something brief I'm going to say. If you're going to go into a healthy, understanding, respectful relationship that has boundaries, and everything that you seek in a partner, you have to go within self first. And I know it's going to be hard. I know it's going to be hard being alone. I know it's going to be hard digging up that trauma and getting to know your truest, highest self. I know it's going to be hard. But if you are expecting anything out of this lifetime that is healthy and that is good for your spirit and heart, you have to be elevated. You have to be compassionate and kind and loving to yourself, so you know how to be that to others. And so you set those boundaries to where others know how to be that to you, so they're giving you what you need at the same time that you're giving them what they need. So learn to love yourself and learn to love others without unhealthy attachment if you choose to attach. And loving someone without attachment doesn't mean that you don't love them. It doesn't mean that you don't care for them or understand them or anything. It just means that you know yourself enough to set boundaries but also love that person unconditionally. But that's all I gotta say, guys. Thanks for watching my video. If you resonate, I'm EarthToThia, aka EarthToThia Ashe, aka EarthToThia. Thank you so much for watching my video. Bye.